SSA fans react. Michael Bowers, 5 games unbeaten, back-to-back away wins. QPR and then QPR and Blackburn. Obviously after the 5-0 Southampton game. What could go wrong for Sunderland? I thought it was win 4-0. Jesus. I come outside and they score in the 90th minute. Jesus Christ. That's why I don't like predicting scores. I never get it right anyway. But Michael, today, I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on today's events at the Steamer Light.
World-class defensive performance and world-class going forward. Finished all our chances. Right, I'm going to try and not make a conscious effort not to interrupt you too much today, but can't promise I'll succeed, but I will try. Right, thoughts on the performance. Well, you were getting in the group chat that we're in. You were getting quite excited, and that's why. And this is why I keep on trying to take a step back and sort of go. Yep. Look, we aren't going to win every single game, and I think, as fans, you think you're going to win every game, but we've got to be realistic. We aren't going to win it. Having said that, if we had a cutting edge in front of goal, we win that convincingly, in my opinion. Yeah. It was in a lot of ways one of the more. Yeah, I'm going to say it. In a lot of ways, it was one of the most one-sided games I think I've seen because we were. Although our finishing was incredibly poor, I think we've also got to give a bit of credit to Cardiff because at times they defended their
bodies on the line.
Oh, definitely. They defended their 6-yard box in particular very, very well. Yeah. Again, it's a mixture of them defending great and us being, rubbish going in the final third. The only thing that angers me is that we didn't give a clean sheet, as you know I'm going on about, because I'm always someone that gets quite tired of that's what happens when you don't take your chances. Not taking your chances doesn't mean Trey Hume goes, oh, we didn't take our chances, right, I'll give the corner away and then we'll concede a goal.
Could he have given a throw-in, Michael?
I thought he could have.
Right, well, somebody said that earlier on.
It's easy for me to say just watching it once, but I need to look at it back. But I think you could. I think obviously, even when we gave the corner away, I was nervous because I was thinking the way these are going to nick us off a set piece.
The big centre halves are going to come up.
And, absolutely. And you know, to be fair to Cardiff, look, I mean, they've had some good results. They've actually been a tough nut to crack away from home. They were 2-0 up against Leeds and should have won on the opening day. Narrowly got beat at Leicester, and sounds like they gave them a game. So obviously they're not. Today they didn't show it that much, but they're not the worst of sides. But it's one of those games that if you're wanting to be near the top, you've got to be winning games like this.
So do you think we're maybe getting a bit of ahead of ourselves? Because you see that they were unlucky against Leicester, unlucky against Leeds. When their fans there said they're going to get promoted this season. I don't think so.
I'm not quite so sure on that because I think if they're going to win games like that, don't get me wrong, for them, Cardiff fans will not care because I know there'll be some watching this. It won't matter for them. It's a win. The stats say, like Dave was saying before, when I was talking to him, not one behind the camera, the other Dave. And there's too many people with the same name. He was saying, look, the stats at the end of the day say 3 points, and that's great for Cardiff. But over the course of an entire season, you're not going to get promoted if you have to play like that. Not away from home anyway. But obviously, you've got to. I mean, at the end of the day, to flip it, obviously when we lost our first 2 games, the metric. Someone's having a good time. But, there's the metrics after the first 2 games suggested that we weren't going to keep losing games.
I think he wants to get on the camera.
Yeah, well, he's coming back around.
He succeeded. He's coming back
around again. That's funny.
Behave, you madness, dizzy man. Jesus Christ.
Going round and round and round in circles. I bet you he's going to be back in 2 minutes. He'll be back. I bet he's going to go around the stadium and come back.
Apologies about that. I'm hoping he doesn't come back, but I think he might.
Well, he probably will. Right, but no, right.
Yeah. This is going to be the aftermath. Me and Michael are going to be doing our interview on a separate video to all the other interviews every time, from now on. So we're just going to stretch it out and get everything, everything out.
Sean says he's not bothered by this, but it makes the channel more money. So go for it like that.
Yeah.
But right, okay. Back to the game, right. We were. The only thing that annoys us again is that we gave a corner away, which led to the goal, which we didn't need to. Yeah. I think at worst case scenario, if you don't finish your chances, make sure it ends 0-0 and you get something out of it. What will be the test? What will be the test for this group of players? Is Friday night.
How you bounce back from a
you've got to. And look, to be fair, I'd be more concerned about us going forward if we were toothless, toothless in not creating anything and we're letting ourselves get bullied and we were dominated. Yeah. But that wasn't the case today. We weren't dominated. We
had a lot of possession, didn't we? What do you think was the best chance we had, Michael, today?
He's back. Yeah, he's over that end now.
What do you think was the best chance we had today, Michael? The best chance?
The dude on the bike just over there.
Apologies if he comes back.
Yeah, he will then.
I think he wants to.
Best chance. I'm sure there was a goalmouth scramble. It was either in the first half or the second half where the ball was bouncing around the penalty box. I think there might have been one where the ball, we're still anticipating him coming back. There was one chance in the second half, I think, where the ball came in down the right-hand side, and the ball bounced off one of their defenders and went to the goalkeeper. But Hamir was like literally at the back post, and if it gets to him, then it could have very well been a goal. I suppose you could. Other people might argue that we didn't create many clear-cut chances, but at the end of the day, most of the play was played in Cardiff's third, and most of them was, although we weren't. Yep, here he comes. He's back. He's going to end up causing an accident if he's not careful. There he is. Honestly, there he goes. I'm convinced he looks like Jack Clark. I could be wrong.
Could be Jack Clark.
Somehow I don't think he'll be that reckless, but
no.
Oh, fair. But look, we were huffing and puffing. We just couldn't quite get the ball to force over the line. But maybe it just goes to show that. Oh, you in, mate?
Yeah,
not too bad. But you know what? This is where the likes of Burstow are going to need to be afforded patience, because I think having a striker in games like this, I think is going to be massive. Yeah. Because I thought Burstow, with what he had to work with, I thought did all right today. I didn't think Burstow did that.
I just didn't think he really had much. There was nothing.
Oh no, there wasn't much for him to work off, was there? No.
That's why I felt sorry, because that was seemed like it was the game against Blackburn as well. It was a little bit similar, and he coming against. QPR was a little bit. I mean, you just got to give him time, haven't you? I suppose.
Well, you have. There does come an end point where you do have to start delivering, obviously. But I just think, as you know me, I try not to judge unless it's abundantly clear that they're not going to be improving. Then I think you've just got to remember to give players time. I mean, look again. I know we can say, well, we know that he had the quality in those first 2 months, but if you look at Ahmad's performances in the first 2 months of last season, were they anything particularly great? I would argue that they weren't. And once he settled in, he was easily one of the best players in the division by a mile.
Definitely.
I'm not saying Burstow obviously is going to be of that standard. We don't know yet, but I think just give him a bit of time to bed in. I think as well it's because, and this point's been made quite a few times, that we've become so accustomed to not playing with an out-and-out forward that when we have one, we don't quite know how to adapt to it. Which is as much as I love what Speakman and Harvey have done, that's the one thing where you're like, you could have had a forward in last January and made sure that we got them in there, but that's by the by.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, for me, it's how we bounce back. And I think against a team like Sheffield Wednesday, although I did say to you before we started recording, and he kind of groaned at this, Sheffield Wednesday is the only team who haven't won a game this season, and they play Sunderland next. You know exactly where this is.
As soon as he said that, I went, Michael, please do not say that. I knew, before you even got the words out, I knew what you were going to say.
I can tell your face. You were just like, okay, Chef went, oh, the only team not won a game.
Please do not say it.
Yeah, your face just completely and utterly dropped when I said
that. That's going to be the. They're going to get their first win against us. Let's hope not. Anyway,
if we play like we did today and we have a bit more of a cutting edge, I think we beat them. We beat them. I think Sheffield Wednesday seem to me, on paper at least, to be the type of team that's a solid League One side that probably isn't quite good enough for the Championship. So games like that, whether you're at home or away, it doesn't matter. You've got to be getting.
You want to finish in the top 6.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've always said that. I mean, Speakman's interview in the summer implied we wanted top 2.
Top 2, he said.
Which but if we're going to be doing that, then
big statement.
If we're going to be doing that, then you need to be winning a lot of home games. You need to be batting. Because I think we'll do well away from home again. I just think it's a matter of if we can.
Why is that, Mike? Why is it? I want to come to this. Why is it we seem so effective away from home, but at home we seem to get so frustrated? Why is that? I mean, this is a game again today where, do you think Cardiff come up here? I think they come up and they were content with a point. I didn't think they come for a 3. I think they were being happy with a point. I think they sat back, absorbed the pressure, and just sort of, they were happy with a point. And I think that was their plan. And I think really they got a corner, and like, when they expected, they thought, here we'll just have a
we've got no to lose here.
Or a couple of defenders up, and that's how they've gotten the goal. And it just seems to be Sunderland. That's our second defeat now at the Steam Light. And we were saying our home form is going to be huge next season.
Oh, definitely. Well, first of all, I mean, Cardiff's tactics worked, didn't it? Because even if they got a 0-0 draw, it worked, and fair play to them for that. But I think put it this way, don't ask the likes of Charlie Methven this question, because he would say it's the Sunderland fans' fault. What a muppet Charlie Methven is. But let's not talk about that more on. Let's move forward. Right. I think it's because we are better when we've got space to attack in front of us.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, right. I don't know if you watched the Blackburn game, but Blackburn.
I watched them both.
Okay, well, in which case, Blackburn, classic example, right?
They come at us.
I know QPR did what Cardiff tried to do, tried to do what Cardiff did, but obviously they were down to 10 men.
Sending
so
off was the crucial thing, wasn't it? Yeah,
exactly.
turning
But
point.
if you compare Blackburn to the Cardiff games, right?
Yeah.
Blackburn first 30 minutes were all over us,
Yeah.
absolutely all over us, and it meant then that because they were flooding forward, our then wingers had space to run into and attack.
And that's it,
and that's where your intricate passing comes into it more.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas when Cardiff, you could tell that you're right. I think Cardiff were content with the point,
Yeah.
and again, fair play. You were content with the point. You got all three. It's just Sunderland luck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Cardiff had like a couple of banks of four, or like a flank of like 9 or 10 players behind the ball.
Yeah, all the time, isn't it?
And the space was so compact that it was. And fair play, but they were very, very stubborn and hard to break down.
Yeah,
and that's where
they were very resilient.
But as I keep on saying, this is where we've got to learn to adapt to that and start learning to break that down, because eventually, if you're going to consistently struggle to break it down,
Yeah.
then there's a good chance we won't finish in the
couple
top
of points
six.
I want to make, Michael. Lee Farrell said this earlier on. Was, do you think sometimes something is becoming a little bit too predictable, where they can only play one way, and this is where we need to adapt to play another way, just when teams
Possibly
counteract them? Yeah.
you could argue that, but I would also, to respond, to say that the last 2 away games we have shown we can win games differently. Because the QPR and Blackburn wins couldn't, even though the score was the same in both games, they were two completely different performances.
Oh yeah, they were.
However, they're away from home though, so
Yeah.
at home, there is validity to that argument at home. I think. Yeah.
It is. I mean, Michael, if we want to finish in the top 6 again this season, which is going to be, I think, harder than last season, we're going to have to sort the home form out. I mean, I know I'm not pressing the panic button, but that's the second defeat now at home.
Yeah.
Already, obviously the Crew game, we got beaten in the cup.
Yeah. Do we take out the cup?
I'm not bothered about the
No,
cup
no,
anyway.
no,
No, but
I think. Well, obviously, look at. I mean, if you assess the 2 defeats, Ipswich and Cardiff, although the result is what matters, did we deserve to lose either of them?
no, I mean, I know, like you say, we didn't deserve to do, and I think the Ipswich. I think I didn't think. I think apart from the 2 chances they created, and they created maybe another one, I thought we were still possibly the better team. But this is where I go back to as well, where you can be the better team, but you've got to be a fine line
Clinical up front.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to like. I keep saying to people as well, we can play the most attractive, free-flowing, great football, but then not get nothing out of the game, Michael. I would rather, be the most boringest team and win 2-1 or 1-0 than be the most exciting and finish mid-table. Well, it's about winning in a football match, Michael. Listen, come on.
So
it's about winning.
So basically,
why Sunderland fans want us to play the most attractive football and not be successful with it? Football is about winning, isn't it?
in which case, get Jack Ross back.
Yes. One more.
One more boring team. No, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
There will come a point where, but this comes back to the point that I made, why clean sheets are massive, because if you then keep a clean sheet, then all you need then is one of those chances to fall your way, and then you win games. And again, like I've said loads of times, you will not keep clean sheets every game. That is just a fact. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
But if you look at the goals, we've conceded, right? If you look at the 2 home defeats, right? First Ipswich goal, although Broadhead anticipates the ball coming in very well, it bounces off him and goes in. That's luck.
Yeah.
There was someone on one of the comments, I think, had a go at me for that. Well, that's their opinion. But for me, that was luck.
Yeah.
Yes, from Broadhead's instinct, it was good, but it was luck for me.
Yeah.
The second Ipswich goal, fair enough, that's just bad defending.
It was.
The goal today was... It was needless because we gave the ball away for a corner when we didn't have to, and that's so. One of the things that does frustrate me, even when games where we dominate the ball and we have a lot of the territory, is that sometimes we might get a bit too eager and play a forward pass, get intercepted, concede a corner, concede a goal.
Yeah.
It's one of these silly little errors that we just need to switch off. 7-0 Newcastle apparently. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
The joys is they'll be saying they're going to win the league now.
Well, hopefully.
7-0.
Hopefully Man City have something to say about that. Just keep being world class, please. Anyway, but point is, look, we need to start forcing. I know they're younger kids, but there will come a point where we need to say, don't make the silly little errors because often, if you look at
that's what's cost us today, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it has. It's
kicked the ball for a corner when he could have kicked it out for a throw. I mean, it throws less danger than a corner.
And again, then you're presenting Cardiff with the opportunity to hurt us the only real way they were really going to do anything.
It's going to go from a set piece.
Yeah, exactly. And so, from my perspective, that was a really frustrating goal to give away because it was just needless. He didn't have to, because like I've said loads of times, yes, he can say we didn't finish our chances. That's what you get. But make sure you at least finish 0-0 and make sure you get something out of it. Yeah. Make sure at least then that point could have made it 5 games unbeaten or whatever it is. If we bounce back on Friday, then today gets forgotten about.
Yes, exactly. It's how you bounce back, Michael,
If we don't win, however, then obviously it becomes a bit more concerning
We'll
than
go on
that.
in a minute. I was going to talk about, obviously, Patterson obviously signing
Yeah,
a new
that's fine.
5-year deal. Obviously,
Yeah, I forgot to
we're
mention
doing
that
this
on
after
the
math
channel,
now, so there's no time restriction. We can just go on as long as you want.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, it's
see,
good for me.
I think it's good the clubs tying these players down, like Cirkin to a long-term deal, Tryhome,
Ballard.
O'Neill, Dan Ballard, and now Patterson. That's a good sign, isn't it, Michael?
It definitely is. I think Pato is one where he's definitely. There's obviously still going to be areas of his game he needs to improve. To be fair, his distribution was one of the things I criticised the most. But I think it's actually come on a bit better recently. Not by much. There's still way to go on that. But he's definitely a very, very solid keeper for me. And to tie him down till, was it 2028?
Oh yeah, it's a 5-year deal. Yeah,
that's a massive thing
it is, because there was a
even,
lot of Premier League teams were sniffing around him. There was, yeah.
Oh, obviously.
And Leicester, I think Leicester was interested in this one.
I think that move probably would have happened had Leicester not got relegated. There's a chance it would have been. Might have got Daniel Everson coming in here, but point is right with Pato. No, that's definitely a good thing. And then even if there's a point where we do sell him, if say in a year and a half's time or at the end of next season, then you've still got 3 years left, you can still command a good fee.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing that we are tying these players down. One slight thing that I would point out is that they're all defenders and a goalkeeper. We need to start seeing that with some forwards.
Yeah, but we'll come to that next. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
you've got Roberts is out with contract.
Roberts is the one I'm mainly thinking about. Yeah,
I've got a feeling he's going to go in January. I think we might panic, and he's not going to sign new deals. So we'll just take something like 5 to 7 million from. I think that's what could happen. He's not going to let him leave for free in the summer.
I agree.
He's going to get some money. I think he'll go. But then you've got
Clark as well.
Hoochie, who I think coming. I think he looks.
Ashish is how his name is.
Ashish, yeah. I think he looks like he could be a good player. But like you see, going back to the contract thing, Clark is. The good thing about Clark is he's tied down to a 3 or 4 year deal, isn't he? I think
he's got 2 years left of his contract after this season.
Right,
so he's got 2.5 years.
We've got a bit of leeway there, so all right in a sense there.
Go with that for now. Yeah.
So we can't press the panic button yet, but I think Clark
Roberts is the main one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an issue in January, isn't it?
I think so. I think with Roberts, and I've kind of made peace with that. I think if Roberts isn't going to sign a deal, then I think if you get even a £5 million bid, I think you take it.
We're gone for nothing, so it's a £5 million profit. That's the way you're looking at it. And to me, he's brilliant, he's skillful as anything, but again, I was saying to Dave before the game, I was saying to Brian, I says, I like my wingers to go forward, but also get back. Clark likes to get forward, doesn't like getting back. Yeah, Roberts likes forward, doesn't like to get back. I like them to get the graft, to come back and work for the team as well, not just scoring all the goals and doing all the flash bits, you know what I mean?
Just like Lyndon Gooch. Oh wait, we sold him. To be fair, like I said with Roberts, if we are at the point now where we are going to sell players to get, part of me is a little bit surprised we didn't take, what was it, 5 million Southampton offered, I think.
I think it was 3 and then 2 with add-ons, wasn't it?
I think apparently it was 2.
I think they were testing the waters there, weren't they?
I think it was 3 million, but I think it was with 2 million, and the quote was guaranteed add-ons, so it was basically 5. But I think if you get that offer again in January, I'd take it.
I think they'll take it.
As long as we've got someone who's ready to come in and step up.
I don't see Roberts signing a new deal. I think the wage budget here it'll be way out of his, you know what I mean?
What I will say is that and I think you'll probably agree with this, and I think in the times when I let Nick Bond speak the other week,
look at the end of the day, but just quickly about that. That was the comments in the day. We're all a bit excited. We won 5-0.
Oh yeah.
And Mike was.
I have to admit,
I was a bit excited as well.
I have to admit, I was cringy looking back at that. I think I should have let him talk more. But the point I was going to make was, Nick Bond said this as well, that you're going to have these. I did ask him the question. I think he did respond to it, where he said, eventually there comes a point where the wage budget's got to go up.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to start to try and go up to the Premier League, then you've got to match that by raising the wage budget.
Yeah.
And look, if Roberts doesn't sign a deal, then fine. If you get a good offer in January, that's fine.
Yeah.
But again, there will come a point where we have to start asking questions about, right, why is the wage budget down here? I mean, apparently, I think there was a stat somewhere in terms of wages of Championship clubs this season. I think we're in the bottom half.
We are nowhere near.
Which points two things out. One is that it shows how good the recruitment's been if we're paying that little in terms of wages
compared to wages.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we've finished in the top 6 last year, looking to do that again this year, hopefully.
Yeah, that's one we're looking at.
Or you could also say, imagine if we spent a bit more. And with this regime, we've shown we can get the right type of players in. So does that maybe think with Speakman, and this is where KLD, again, I know I've said this point before, KLD's then got to start coming into it and say, right, at what point then are a little, not ridiculous, but a little bit more purse strings get released, and you think, right, can we then start attracting better players?
Do you think that they're doing that with the wage structure? They've got like this in place where they're doing it they want to try and record a profit like next financial year. I'm pretty certain we should, for the first time, record a profit during the next financial year. We should do
Stuart's sale.
Especially Stuart the sale on. Do you know what I mean? We've got to be.
Lahaji, Gooch as well. You know,
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think this is their model is by getting like a bit like Brighton, sort of. I love
Brentford as well.
Brentford.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Brighton can do it. We
That's
definitely
I'm
should
saying
be
we
able
have much bigger clubs than them too. So you know, you get that.
Arrogant.
Who's that there?
I don't know.
Who was that?
Maybe that was Jack Clark.
No, it was.
Invest some more money, you take it.
No,
Right, no, seriously, right. I think, yeah, you're right. I do.
Dan Neil. It was Dan Neil's dad. That was Dan Neil's dad.
He's another.
I remember his face because on the train with Joanne. Dan Neil's dad. That was him in the Range Rover. Ah, exactly. He's right.
Dave's revealing something about his preferences.
He's kind of good looking, isn't he, Dave?
This is not a conversation I envisaged being a part of. Right, okay, yeah. Daniel, there's another player we tied down for an extra year as well, actually. I've said before, I'm a big defender of the model of what we're doing because, and I know some fans don't like the idea of we don't want to be a selling club, but let's get this straight once and for all. Every single player in football's got a price. Every single one. Yep. Unfortunately, the way it is now, you have to balance football with being a business. You've got to make sure that, I mean, again, look, like I said loads of times before, look at the state that we have been in within the last decade.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie Methven, for example, spoke a lot of crap. Lot of shite, sorry. Yeah. But the one thing he did say, and this is one of the few things he said that I actually believed him on, is when he said that we were on track to potentially go and bust, or on track to at least going into administration.
Jesus,
I know a lot of people, rightly so, are loath to take what that man says with a pinch of salt. But that's one slight comment he made that I actually agreed with. Now, I might be wrong on that, but the point I'm making is we have to do this sort of system to be sustainable long term as well. But there is a but here. But it does mean that once you start making a big sale, I'll take Jack Clark as an example to make me point a bit better. I don't think Jack Clark will go in January. That's just my gut feeling. I know some people have said they think he will. Unless a stupid offer comes in, and by stupid offer I'm talking 25 million here, really. Because let's be honest, Alex Scott, who's a midfielder, went for 25 million. And I'm not being funny, because there were some Bristol City fans on Facebook. It's Facebook though, you take it with a pinch of salt. But they were saying, like, you know, Jack Clark's. Someone said apparently Jack Clark's best performances were in League One. Well, that's another nonsense. That's nonsense.
He's been even better in the Championship.
No,
really.
definitely. But the point is, and I'm not. This isn't just down to Alex Scott, but Alex Scott went for 25 million. I'm not being funny. Bristol City have been what, mid-table Championship? Jack Clark was part of a team that got playoffs last year.
True.
So for me, Jack Clark, so as an example, I don't think Jack Clark, so for me, if we don't get at least 25 million, January or the summer, I think something's wrong there.
No,
but my point is...
Easily.
I don't think... I could be wrong. I might be. You can clip it in a few months' time if I'm proved to be wrong. But I don't think. I don't think he'll go in January.
I'm going to put my neck on the. I don't know about that. I hope not. But I guarantee that whatever we get for Jack Clark will be in excess of at least 20 million.
It should be
at least
20 million plus add-ons for me.
Yeah,
20 million.
It's got to be 20, 25, and then even add-ons with that as well. So potentially,
that's the market.
That's the market these days. I don't care what anybody says. That's the way it is.
Well, exactly. Well, again, but my point was going to be. Well, first, that is the market because he's a forward, which costs more than midfielders. English tax is a thing. The fact he's English.
That's potential as well, isn't he?
Even after this, he's got 2 years left on his contract. So if say he produces the numbers at a good rate, like he's got 9 goals in the Championship, I think last year. He's got over half of that already. So I think let's say he gets between 10, 15 goals this year. If say in the summer we don't get promoted, Jack Clark's gone. If we don't go up this season, he's gone in the summer. And I've accepted that already. And he wants if after this, if he's given us this whole season and he's done as well as he can, and he wants to play in the Premier League, then I would say
definitely,
fair play, mate. You've given us 2 cracks at it. Fair enough. But my point was going to be, if say in the summer Jack Clark sold for let's say 25 million, I'm just plucking a finger out.
That's right.
Then there will brightly be an expectation to at least spend a significant chunk of that
money on to reinvest.
I couldn't even hear any of that.
I thought, was that what we followed? He's gone home.
Maybe that's the voice of the airport. Maybe that's our airport voice to elite equal the airport derby. Point was, if we sell him for say 25 million as a figure, I don't mind not every single money of that being reinvested into the squad, but I'd expect at least about 15 million of that to be reinvested just as a figure. You then got no excuse then not to spend a significant chunk on the squad itself. Now, again, the Ross Stewart money coming in is another example. That's the first, because people go on about being a selling club, but that's the first big sale we've made since
True,
since the
yeah.
slots come in.
Yeah.
So the biggest question for me will be, what happens with that money? Because I know we spent a bit in the summer, but I mean, it sounds like to me we were spending money regardless whether Stuart left or not.
Yeah.
So if Stuart, based on that,
And Lahaji as well.
exactly.
That
So
money's together.
based off that, you're then talking between 10, 15 million there.
That's going to be 50. I mean,
We got
Lahaji.
$1 million for Gooch as well. So
That's what I'm saying. So, no, it was not 2 million for Gooch.
I think I heard it was 1, but I might be wrong.
I was
I hope you're right then.
10 for Stewart guaranteed, and at least 5 for Lahaji. Then see one for
Gooch.
that's 16 million recruited
Yeah.
off free.
I mean, Lahaji depends on the figures you believe, but I think with Stuart, I mean, we've also got to factor in Ross County's sell-on clause, which is. But even then, you're still talking. Well,
Yeah.
if you let's say include it with add-ons, then okay, I'll tell you what then. If it's $1 million for Gooch, let's say if you take the $1 million for Gooch, just say it's $1 million, take that out of it, but that pays for most of Ross County sell-on clause. So take Gooch out of it. Then you've got Stuart, round about 10 million, maybe more with add-ons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lahaji. Well, Lahaji, I've heard figures between 2 to 6 million, so it depends what you believe. But even then, I'll be interested to see then in January or next summer what happens with that money.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
Now, again, so this is the point. So I don't mind the idea of us trying to be sustainable, because you can do both. You can be sustainable, but you also, like I said, there will also become a point where Sunderland Football Club need to be getting back in the Premier League.
Well, that's it.
People will argue that's this season, but I think if not this season, then I think next season we've really got to be.
I interviewed these guys earlier on, and because I was about Mowbray, and I says, he says Mowbray shouldn't get any criticism. I says, why not though, Michael? He's the coach. He should get. I mean, he was just basically saying he's exempt from criticism. And no, everybody's going to get criticism if they're not doing the job right. Yeah.
For me, you shouldn't get much criticism, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't get any criticism at all. That's just how it is. If we're going to give him praise when we're doing well, and we still are doing well. We're still in the top 6.
Yeah, but fifth. We're fifth. I mean, we've just dropped them because obviously the Luton Stoke game was 3-1 this afternoon, wasn't it?
Luton Stoke? You mean Stoke?
Sorry.
I was going to say Luton's in the Premier League, lad.
Hull City and Stoke. Sorry.
Yeah,
no,
but I do get your point. Like,
there's
let's just say the Stoke Hull result will be a little bit of joy, but I won't say why.
Yeah.
But taking that out of the equation, right? There's Daniel. Taking that out of the equation, though, right? Yes, we dropped to 5th, but we are still in the top 6. Now, okay, I'll ask you this then, right?
Yeah.
Going into this season, what was your personal expectations for it?
My expectations was
me was playoffs.
To try and hit in the top 6. Yeah, that was me actually, to try and finish in the top 6.
Yeah.
But then obviously with Sel Stewart and I was thinking because he was over me. But then I looked at the recruitment.
Most of last season.
And I think we signed obviously Maida, we signed Luis Semedo, we signed Rousson, and then Burstow. So we signed 4 strikers. And I'm thinking if a couple of these guys is decent, can bang the goals in, and with Ahuchi and Pembelia and you know, these other players, Ekwa, these guys can produce it when you never know.
Thing as well, some of these guys are going to be signed with long-term thinking in mind. Because I'm trying to think of an example here. Sheesh, there's an example. For me, he looks like a 10.
What's it?
Sheesh.
So I'm saying Ahushi, so it's Sheesh.
Oh, yeah. I used to say it.
It's going to take me a while to get used to that.
I've got used to it.
Tony Mowbray.
Sean doesn't like him, mate.
Tony Mowbray.
Riding right on me.
Great coach.
Yeah. But anyway, Sheesh, I think, is someone who we've signed as a 10 but can play out wide apparently.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we're letting him bed in the next few months to either replace Roberts or
Clark. I think that was the Clark replacement.
Yeah. I suspect so.
Yeah.
But point is that we're signing some of these players with replacing players who are going to go.
Yeah.
But again,
that's the model, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, people can't argue, in my opinion, that a lot of the signings, and more often than not, have been good quality.
They have. I mean, 80-90% of the signs of Speakman's been and Stuart Harvey's been fantastic, haven't they?
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
They haven't signed any Callum McFadsons and any Max Powers, Michael.
We know how much you love Max Power.
Max Power, but
do you remember Max Power's lovely shot against Lincoln at home in the playoffs?
He wasn't that bad, really. To be fair, I just had an issue with him.
I mean, to be fair, he's got what?
Max Power.
It was a pound job.
Do you know what?
But it was a good. It was a decent.
For where we were at the time, he was all right.
Because he's getting 3 promotions with Wigan, so you can't say he wasn't. He isn't really.
And he's getting 50 grand a week in Saudi Arabia.
So that's. Right,
you know, let's not go there. The point is though, right? I think we've got. But the point, you're right. We have okay. Compare the left back situation. I know he's injured at the minute. Shock. But go from Callum McFadden to Dennis Serkin. It's not even in the same conversation, is it?
Yeah, but that's it.
You know, but again, there is going to be a point where the model is going to be then tested, because the stage when you start selling players means...
Look one iron.
Yeah, the stage when you start selling players is what you're going to do then with the money.
Yeah.
And another thing as well is like, I mean, it's not through the club's design, but I'm relieved that Pritchard stayed as an example.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it shouldn't even have been in a conversation, to be honest, that Pritchard was debating going.
Yeah.
I can kind of get Danny Bart to a small degree, because you've got Ballard and 09 who can suit the way we want to play
Jensen
more.
Seaton and Tryon, so I don't know
that's
what
the
they're about.
well. But one of them, who I believe will be Dan Ballard's eventual replacement,
Because he'll eventually
or
go.
Joe Anderson, who's on loan at Shrewsbury as well.
Yeah, he's gone
Let's
out,
forget about him.
yeah.
Then in like you said, don't get me wrong, personally, Bart, Gooch and Pritchard, I wouldn't have let go any of them. But at the end of the day, if it does come an issue of wages, because apparently they were I think Bart and Pritchard were two of our highest earners.
Do you think that was to get them off? Well, trying
That's
to get
what
one
I
of them.
suspect it was.
Yeah.
That's what I suspected. I mean, Bart hasn't started for Norwich. Bart, I don't think started for Norwich. I mean, based off yesterday when they lost 6-2 at Plymouth, I think they could probably do with him.
I think
but point is, yeah, there is going to, like I said loads of times, to not repeat myself too much, there is going to come a point where we are going to get tested about the ambition.
With the money.
You know,
that's always going to be in question, isn't it, Michael?
Exactly. But for me, again, my issue, well, like I said loads of times, my issues with KLD have been more about letting the off-the-pitch state continue in the manner that it is, and Steve Davison as well has got to be not exempt from that.
Yeah.
But in terms of what we want for this season, my personal expectation was playoffs.
Yep.
I said even a couple of days ago, even when everyone was getting excited, like
me and Dave, me in the group, in the WhatsApp group.
Dave probably was.
I was getting excited. I was. Just off a couple of back wins, I'm thinking, hit the top 10, and now I'm thinking, no, let's go your head.
Relegation.
Go your head. It's mid-table. It's the playoffs. That's
right,
I'm just sticking with that.
I think. Well, Dave Lawrence is a good friend of ours. You know, he's someone who doesn't care for clean sheets. Like, we'll go home. All right, we'll just lose 4-3 every game.
He just wants to see score loads of goals. I know. Like 6-5 or 5-4, doesn't he, Dave?
Love you, Dave. Well, Dave behind the camera as well, but love Dave. Loved anyone called Dave. But anyway, point is, my personal expectation was top 6, but I'm trying to take the longer term view of it, that top 2 for me, with Leicester, with Leeds, or whoever else. I think
Southampton will sack Russell Martin, and then they'll get back on track.
If Southampton get their ideas together, then they should be at least top 6.
The players they've got.
So the point is, well, what you want, if say we don't go up, if say we don't finish in the top 2, which I've never thought we would. The top 2 I want to be Leicester and Leeds. You want 2 of the relegated sides to be in the top 2,
and the playoffs to be us if we're in there, lesser teams.
Yeah, exactly. And apologies in advance, case here, but you want the likes of Sheffield United and Luton to come down, because I don't think they'll be anywhere near as strong as the current relegated sides. So next season for me will be our season, unless we. You never know. We might end up finishing in the playoffs. We might win them. We don't know. It just depends how many injuries we've got. But again, it is frustrating, because I think I'm still of the opinion that there is still a lot to be proud of with what we're doing at the minute. And today's result, as frustrating as it is, it is frustrating. Yeah.
But it's a bit of a sickener, Michael. I know it's a bit of a sucker blow the way they scored late on.
Of course, it's going to.
You've got to look at the bigger picture. I know you're right. And we are 5th. And we've got Sheffield Wednesday and Friday. If we win that game, I can go back.
Exactly. If we don't win, then fair enough. If we don't beat Sheffield, then fair enough. I think you start getting a bit concerned then. I think, I don't personally fully agree. Well, just because I don't rate Sheffield's team at all. Again, watching them Sheffield 1, Sunderland 0 now. But look, I think if we apply ourselves properly on Friday night, we beat Sheffield Wednesday.
Definitely.
I agree.
We turn up and win. We'll win.
Definitely.
100%.
I think so. But again, depends what happens on the day. Sheffield could get a lucky goal that bounces off, ricochets
off
off 5 players.
Could get a player sent off.
Okay, let me rephrase. With the right application, 11v11 for the whole game, nothing daft happening. I think we
win the game.
I think we beat Sheffield. I think we've got the quality to do it, and regardless if Sheffield change their head coach before Friday, to me that shouldn't make a difference. We should have enough to beat Sheffield Wednesday.
Let's hope they keep the manager. But anyway, this is the aftermath now. Me and Michael are going to do it's going to be a separate interview to other ones, just because me and Michael always go to talk a long time. So then if you want to watch this one, you can just watch that clip.
So thank you for watching for the last 53 minutes.
And we're going to do this for all the home games, and obviously we'll try and get to some of the away games. Obviously Michael's trying to get us to go to Stoke, and I'll try to get to that one. But thanks for your time, guys. Go and subscribe to Michael Bowers. Remember, he's on the road to 5K.
Likewise, so let's get
as well. Let's get this fight. No, but obviously you're close. You're closer.
Didn't I was running?
Another 5K. I will go and subscribe to Michael. Lovely lad, knows his stuff. I love he's like your brother, so go and subscribe. Take care. And that's been a crap day, but we'll get there.
We'll bounce back on Friday.